You ready? Let's go. 2-minute daily devo for Thursday, November 17th. I'm in the Contemporary English Version today, and our verse of the day comes from the book of Luke, chapter 6. Jesus here in this portion of scripture is talking to us about how we should treat those that don't like us, how we should treat those that come against us. And our verse of the day is verse 28, but look what it says in verse 27. Love your enemies and be good to everyone who hates you. Ask God to bless anyone who curses you and pray for everyone who is cruel to you. Now that advice is totally opposite of what you and I would hear today. But this is exactly what Jesus came to do. He came to take societal norms and flip them completely upside down. Who does this in our world today? Ask God to bless those that curse you and pray for those that are cruel to you. Nobody does that. If someone is rude to us, we want to be rude right back to them. And notice that's exactly what Jesus addresses in verse 29. He says this, if someone slaps you on one cheek, and what do we expect him to say? You slap him back. But no, here's what he says. Don't stop that person from slapping you on the other cheek. What? That makes no sense in our world. It is eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. If you come at me, I'm coming back at you. No, Jesus says we want to do the opposite. We want to be meek. We want to be mild. We don't want to pay back and have revenge. He goes on to say this, treat others how you want to be treated. Now, there you go. That's what's called the golden rule. We want to treat others how we want to be treated. And look what the whole purpose of this is in verse 32. This mind-blowing flip on what we normally would want to do in our flesh. If you only love someone who loves you, will God praise you for that? Even sinners love people who love them. So see, look, God says this, it's easy to love people that love you. Everyone does that. Even people that aren't my followers do that. But he says this, that love your enemies and be good to them, and then lend without be expecting to pay back. Then you will receive a great reward, and you will be true children of heaven. See, that's the point, and that's exactly what I've said time and time again. God asks us to do something, yes. That seems hard and difficult, yes. But if we can use his power to help us to do that, to love those that are mean to us, to pray for our enemies, to not try to get revenge when someone does something to us, God tells us to do that. If we do, here's the promise. God says, you will have a great reward and you will truly be called my children in heaven. So this is the point. We want to love those that despise us. We want to pray for those that are cruel and mean to us because we are not only obeying God, which we are, and doing exactly what Jesus did because Jesus came and died on the cross for people that didn't even care about him, that despised and hated him. But not only are we doing that and being like Jesus, but Jesus says we're going to be rewarded for it as a result. So I want to encourage you today. Let's love others, even if they don't love us. All right, that's it, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.